Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another technical analysis video. Today we're jumping into the world of Solana, where I'll be sharing my recent thoughts on the price action with where it's been heading and where I think it's going to be heading next, and give you all my Solana price predictions. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, subscribe and stay up to date with all the content that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Let's jump right down into today's video. So what we're going to do is we're going to start things here with the Solana paired up with USDT 1-day Binance chart. We obviously have seen good progression to the upside. We have found a local top on the 21st of July. We obviously have seen the market cooling off just a little bit as we start to see this pull to the downside. Now this looks like it's kind of progressed quite nicely. With this correction, it does have an overlapping nature, so we know it's a short-lived correction. It is still possible that this slips down a little bit further though. Okay, so looking at this, we can see we have come down to the typical range where you would normally expect a retracement to go down to, okay, but it is still possible that we head down towards $163, okay, but minimum expectations and typical expectations have already been met. So for the most part, I'm not expecting terribly too much more. We have this recent high on the 24th of June at $182.50. That shows us with the idea of a 1 to 1.236 coming in at $163.86 to $167.27. And that is the yellow box here that I've marked up. You can see here as well that we've wicked down into this low range already, so our minimum and typical expectations have been met. This is a three-wave correction. We can see here, here, and here, and it does indicate that we can now start thinking about those moves to the upside. Okay. Now, obviously, I was talking about previously that there is the idea that this could be a potential cup and handle pattern. This is something that, has a low success rate. Cup and handles are not the best patterns in the world, but as you can kind of see, here's your cup potential, and then you'd have your handle coming down here as an example. And if this is the case, then we get a big break to the upside. That break to the upside under a cup and handle pattern would put us at approximately $240.86, which would be the 1.618 target range right here on the chart. Okay, so from a cup and handle point of view, that's kind of what you would look for. Now, obviously, I think slightly differently. I don't think cup and handle is the way that this is necessarily going to go. But I look at this as a 5-wave pattern through Elliott wave theory, and this correction that we've experienced right now is just our wave 4, indicating that we are likely to see a surge up more towards 190 to 198. Okay, and you can see that right in here. Let me actually go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. $190 right here on the 1.236 up to the $198 on the 1.618 fib scales. Okay, so that is kind of what we look for. Okay, we look for that next kind of run to the upside. This 5-wave pattern would basically be here with a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This will lead us probably into another correction before we actually then get into the next kind of big 5-wave break, which will take us out more towards that kind of cup and handle pattern. Okay, so it's possible that a cup and handle pattern plays out, but it's actually slightly different in the way that I've drawn it. So if we were to see a cup and handle, my opinion would be it would look more like to be something like this, slightly slanted, with a handle as our next correction to the downside before we get that break to the upside. But we'll see how it kind of plays out. Like I say, cup and handles are not the best patterns in the world. They have a high tendency to want to fail on you, and specifically with how deep potentially the handles go on those ones. But a 5-wave pattern looks pretty good from an Elliott wave theory point of view. We have a nice 3-wave correction coming into that $163, $167 range, and our next target $190 to $198. So what about smart money concepts? Well, smart money concept shows us that we have a bullish structure that has never been broken, right? We can see that over here. We've got the break of structure. All of this is a correction to the downside. We've rallied higher than equilibrium. We're above the 200-day EMA, the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA, and we have a weak high, strong low. Okay, equilibrium is the 50% area between a discount and a premium. Ranges at the moment, we obviously have been getting rejected from the premium range. This is where the sellers were previously. So a new break above this area, above the premium range, coming in anything higher than $188 is basically going to, or $188.89 is going to basically give us a new daily high. It's going to cause us to continue this run to the upside into our targeted range, in my opinion. Brief correction and then another run. So it looks very, very good to me. Smart money concepts, Elliott wave theory are quite aligned with strong lows, weak highs. The idea that we are bullish with the EMAs and the SMAs all being in good spots. The equilibrium also being, a good support area should we have any major corrections in the market. And yeah, looking at it, it looks very, very good from those kind of points of view. Turn off the smart money concepts, bring on our stochastics. We can see that the daily stochastic RSI is correcting down quite nicely. Here you can see some interesting things. This is an area that we've previously kind of been looking at trying to find as a support level historically. We've broken that to the downside, but we're still above the 50 level on the stochastic RSI. Plenty of momentum to the upside and to the downside. So be aware that I think what we're likely to do here is rally up a little bit, hit that slightly higher range, break up into a new daily higher high, and then break on down where we'll come into the oversold area. We're overbought on the 1 hour, but not on the 4 hour or yet, and we're oversold on the 8 hour. So expect some volatility here. I don't think it's going to be clean where we just kind of rally up and just kind of be done with it. If we turn that off and bring on the divergence indicator, you can see here that the relative strength index has pulled back a little bit and plenty of room to the upside still. If we draw a trend line on here, we can see that we have got the potential for a little bit more slippage here before running, but to the upside that is, but looking pretty good. No divergences, bearish or bullish or hidden or otherwise is being noted. It's all looking pretty good from that kind of point of view as well. If we turn on the volume, bring back the price action here, you can see that there's actually a little bit of an increase in volume as we start decreasing in price. This is actually not what you'll want to see. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Nothing major because it is still small volume in comparison to where things have been previously. And obviously, as we start to kind of zoom out a little bit, you can see we've had price run to the upside, but volumes were decreasing. So volumes were decreasing on the way to the upside. And as we have this little correction right now, you can see that volume's increasing. This is not the best scenario. So just be mindful that I think that we are likely to see this little push to the upside, liquidate those shorts, get some long positions coming in here with a new daily high, only to have that rug pulled and have a deeper correction afterwards. I think we've kind of been set up here for a bit of a trap, in my opinion. So we'll keep a close eye on it. But for now, on our daily time frame, things are not all that bad. I think we're in a pretty reasonable positions because we can see kind of what's likely to unfold when it comes to everything that's going on here with Solana. So with that being said, let's roll this up into a weekly time frame. We kind of have an idea that we have a short term move to the upside, followed by a medium term move to the downside. What is our longer term view? Well, our longer term view here, as you can kind of see, is a much bigger correction, probably after the Federal Reserve cut their interest rates, as that will kind of cause a lot of damage in the market. This will be a wave B before we get into those next big runs and those next big parabolic runs to the upside, and the altcoin kind of seasons are already kind of kicking off and major bull runs kicking off. Here we can see, if we do come down to less than $100, which is kind of the typical kind of area that we'll be looking for here, then that is going to indicate to us a bit of a run to the upside around $2,000 to $5,000 in terms of a bullish target in the end game. Now, obviously, those are very, very bullish targets, very difficult to kind of see, probably need ETFs and stuff like that before you actually see those numbers kind of coming in. A more conservative priced target, though, does come in down here at the $688 to a $1,192 target range. These are the 0.618 and 0.786 targets. These are actually probably the most realistic ones that we have, coming in at $688 towards that $1,000. I think this is going to be where we actually find the major resistances and a lot of sell pressure for Solana. I'd like to be wrong on that. I want to see $2,000 to $5,000, but I do think actually it's more likely to be this $688 to $1,192 range that we actually end up going towards, and actually that being the end of the bullish run. Love to be wrong, but for now, that's kind of where things are looking in my mind. Don't get me wrong. I think that a $2,000 to $5,000 is definitely possible. It's just going to be a case of we need a few things to kind of go right for Solana first. Everything everything from, the idea of getting spot ETFs for Solana, more adoption outside of the meme coins on the network, and so much more going on in the background as well. But nonetheless, I think there's definitely some good progression here to be seen, and I think we could see a really strong bull run for Solana in the kind of longer term. But you guys, you can let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's your long-term price prediction for Solana? Let me know down below. If you found it useful, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. And if you haven't done so yet, click here to find out what is going on with the price action of XRP and share my thoughts as to where I think things could be heading next.